everybody.
He's Shane. I'm Lex.
All right. Sorry that we missed last week's due to some events, but anyway.
I got to admit, I like the way Annie was pimping out that shirt. Our used, retired clothing.
It's vintage.
Vintage.
Yes.
That's it. It's vintage.
Yeah, we
Vintage
can't.
clothing.
And it's hard for Lex and I to share shirts because he's got all the muscles. I've got the gut. So between the two of us, we stretch out every part of that shirt. Anyway, hey, let's go ahead and jump into Inventory 8.
Yeah.
We can rip through this.
Some great new things in here. Now, again, everybody, when you grab the new release, go to the help or hit F1 and always, RTFM is my favorite.
Yep, help menu, you can go to the Welcome to PDQ Inventory, click on what's new in this version. And as usual, we're not going to go through every single line item here. We're just going to hit a couple of the big ones. But if you have a question, by all means,
Throw down.
Throw down. Jason and Brig will ignore you as promptly as possible on the chat window.
Like usual.
Anyway, yeah. First thing we're going to hit is the non-Windows devices. We want to just remove some confusion or potential confusion on this. No, we are not scanning non-Windows devices. No. That may come in a future date, but this is really there's customers that have said, hey, listen, I've got a bunch of non-Windows objects in Active Directory, for example. Like I've got some Mac machines, I've got some Linux machines, etc. And they're included in the AD sync, those of you who use the Active Directory synchronization, but they can never be scanned. They always see the scan error. I don't know. There's nothing much I can do with them. So can you at least, either try to grab that OS from AD if it's in there, or let me enter the operating system and just some basic information about that, and then not have it be scanned. But I don't want this thing to be scanned. So yeah, we've added that ability, and I'm going to show you that right now. So if we go to our all computers here, we're going to scroll on down. Notice we've got a couple of these cases. These are Citrix Zen servers, right?
Yeah, our Zen servers are.
They're in Active Directory, so they're part of an AD sync. But we could have also added them through the regular add computer window. So you can see they're online. But what we've done on these, right click, if you notice there's an allow scan, you might want to zoom in on that. There's an allow scan. We have turned it off.
Remove the check mark. Yep.
I'm going to just go to a regular computer like Bunker here. It's a Windows 8. You can see the allow scan is checked. So the allow scan, by turning that off, prevents obviously this computer from receiving scans. It's nice so you don't have to see those be inundated with those errors. Yeah. Open it up, and when you have a computer that's set to not scan, you can also change the scan status here, the allow scan. So you hit these non-Windows devices, disallow the scans. In the computer window, most of the information is going to be blank, but there's some things that you can edit in there. You can edit the MAC address. I think in the next release, Charlie was mentioning that you can actually edit the IP address as well. Right now, we grab the IP address based off of DNS resolution, whatever's in DNS. But you can, for those objects that aren't in DNS, and you want to be able to specify, like maybe a phone or something like that, that you don't want to necessarily have resolved, you can edit that IP address.
Now, Charlie went to bat for you guys. I know he kept bugging me about, I need more machines that are that are not in Active Directory. So I spun him up a bunch and pointed him at some phones and stuff. So yeah, Charlie was looking out for you guys on that one.
In the drop down for your OS, you do have some options here for various operating systems, but you can also just edit your own if you want. And I think we just call this something like Citrix Zen, right?
Yep. And
then you can change your chassis. If you change your chassis, that's going to change the icon for this. That's why you can see we've made CTX1 that. If you have custom fields are available for all of your machines. This is data that can't otherwise be grabbed in an inventory scan. Something like cost center or date for the warranty to end or something like that. So the custom fields you can still edit per computer, even if it's not a Windows machine, it's not a scannable machine.
Yep.
All right. And there you go. So once again, if I want to change the icon for this to a tower, right, I can just go over here to tower. There it is. change that to Citrix Zen.
Now, something to note, right down where it says name and version below the OS, if you go into Active Directory and populate that, we will pull that information from there.
Cool.
So,
Rock on. Yeah, so that CTX1 we had done that. The other two we had just added regular.
Yep.
So, so I'll close this up, and now you'll see CTX2 shows up. So hopefully this will help you at least see the machines that can't be scanned, but you can at least have them entered here for keeping track and just for kind of a complete picture. The next one we've got file scanner. Those of you who use
love the file scanner,
use your custom scan profiles. It still amazes me how many customers have never ventured into scan profiles, and specifically into the custom scanners such as registry and file scanner. So we made some changes to the file scanner.
These things the changes that have made have actually sped up the file scanner. It makes it a lot, obviously, quicker.
Depending on how you make your filters, absolutely.
No. They're all faster. Even the bad ones you put in there.
So if those of you who, an example of a file scanner, if you want to find machines that have MP3 files, or you want to find machines that have a specific version of an EXE, you can create a file scanner, place that in a scan profile, and then scan those computers and track that file or its attributes or its header information. In this, some examples here, we've got we created a scan profile called miscellaneous files. And we have 2 file scanners. Now remember, whenever you go into a scan profile, you can add a scanner here, and if you add registry or files, you can create multiple. So we've got the computer details. I like to have the computer details scanner in all of my files, in all my scan profiles, but. So we've got 2 file scanners, and here we're looking for, just as an example, we're saying look for any Firefox EXE, and it's going to be in the C drive, program files, or program files x86.
Now the reason we put the path in there is it will try and scan the entire computer for that. If you already know where it is, obviously.
Yeah, because honestly,
significantly quicker.
You don't want to scan every single file on every system. Your database is going to be huge. It's data that, for the most part, you're never going to need. So try to be selective.
Hey, I love the wildcards right above there.
Yeah, so these are just some examples of, before the old file scanner, you would have to specify the path, and the path did not accept wildcards, and then you would your file patterns, and that would take wildcards.
Yeah.
Now, wildcards can be used in the path and in the actual file. So we'll break that down.
Good example of that would be, let's say you wanted to find something that was in any of the users of that computer's downloads or documents.
Correct. So here's another one. We've got a file scanner that uses just that. We want to look for any Java EXE or Java Splat EXE. Maybe you've got users that are downloading the online Java installer and you want to find out where that is. So this file pattern looks in the system drive, which usually is going to be C, in the users directory. But then, because your users' names are obviously going to vary, you don't know what they're going to be. In fact, let's actually change that. Let's say you want to look on the desktop for all of your users for anything that's Java, Splat. In the old way, you'd have to actually say scan users, and then it would scan everything under users, which was a lot.
Oh yeah.
Here we could say scan users, but when it comes to the subdirectory, just grab whatever's there and then move on to the desktop, which is the next one. Look for the desktop directory and anything under users. Makes it a much faster,
significantly quicker. Yeah.
So we'll just do that. We'll just do a quick run there. And remember, you can always add file scanners or registry scanners to existing profiles. In this case, we created a new one. So let's just grab. We'll do Carla. We'll just do a bunch of these here.
Okay. So what are the odds we're going to find Java?
Let's
EXE
find out.
On any
So I'm going to run this scan on the miscellaneous files. That's the scan profile there. I think I don't know. I think I threw Java out on Carla or something.
So we have something to look at. Skull, baby.
We'll find out. If not, it's not the first. It definitely won't be the last mistake we make.
But we never make mistakes.
No, I don't want to do a question. Of course.
Just don't
Go
put
ahead
it
and
up.
throw it in.
All right, I won't. Here we go.
Now that we can scan non-Windows devices.
Okay, so we can't scan. You can
Add them.
Yeah, you can add them so that you kind of have a one-stop shop of these are all the devices on my network, but you still can't scan them. And I want to really drive that home, Bob.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop for reporting on what you've got out there, and keeping track of some things in one area.
But to answer, can iOS and Android devices be scanned if they have an IP address? If they're on your network, you can add them. Remember, I mentioned that we're going to, if they're not in DNS, you're going to be able to actually modify the IP address in inventory. It's not modifying the IP address on the device, but you can just say, hey, inventory, here's this IP address for this device, and it's an iOS. So it's an iPad or it's an iPhone, etc. You can do it that way.
Yeah.
Let's take a peek at Carla.
Files.
Perfect. Okay, so Carla does have Firefox. Looks like Carla's a 64-bit machine, so it's installed in the program files x86. And also Java Setup 8U77 on, looks like the user Reg threw that on their desktop.
The user, I didn't know you logged in as Reg.
So there you go. Play along.
Oh, yeah, Reg did it.
Drink some more whiskey.
Yeah. Well,
Please.
I'm out already.
You're out. Okay.
I'm out.
I'm not going to pour you one. I'm not your lackey.
That's why
anyway,
it's
so
not
that's
here.
Now, how would you find this in a report or in a collection? You would use the files table.
Yep.
All right. Just keep that in mind. So that's just, I want to really draw that out. And as Lex noted, a little cheat sheet for you on those scan profile on the file scanner. Go back in here real quick. Little cheat sheet on what these means.
Wildcards,
The wild cards. A question mark is any single digit or letter, right? Whereas splat is a current in all subdirectories. So the splat is important when you're specifying directories. Notice I got one splat here for Java. That's because they might have a bunch of different versions of Java. That's why I threw that in there. But the splat is very important. It's for directories. It means this and all subdirectories. All right. All right. If we have any questions on that, please throw down. All right. So some other things that we've grabbed. Let's go over here to Briggles. In hotfixes. Now before 8, the hotfixes that we grabbed were all OS related.
Yep.
But that didn't grab like Microsoft Office hotfixes or .NET hotfixes. Now we grab any hotfix that's registered with Windows. And that means that there's going to be some duplication of data, like Adobe sometimes throws their hotfixes in there, Adobe Acrobat Reader, which you're also going to be able to see in applications, right? But there it is right there. So if you want to, people have asked us in the past, hey, I've got to find out if this .NET hotfix is installed. Well, we only grabbed the OS, not .NET, not Office. Now you can.
Yep.
It's important, once again, going back to file scanners, or file scan profiles. I'm going to open up standard. The hotfixes scanner. It's important when you're looking for hotfixes that whatever scan profile you run contains this.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another change. In applications, the application scan profile, we've added hotfixes. Before it was just applications and computer details.
Oh, so
It's kind of important, especially if you use Flash for IE, because Microsoft,
now,
Microsoft took over at Windows 8, 8.1, and 10, and of course 2016. 2012. These any Flash for IE is installed via a hotfix, and that's how you track it. It will not show up in applications. So we decided let's go ahead and add hotfixes to the application scanner. Just a scan profile. Just keep that in mind.
Little FYI.
And once again, if you have any questions on the hotfixes, by all means, throw them down. Another one, BitLocker. I think, in fact, was there a question, Annie, on BitLocker?
Give us a second.
Did you mention that there was a question on that?
There is one, but it's not up right now. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
They're working it. Okay.
All right. So we're based off of your feedback.
Your requests, because we do listen to you guys.
We do listen.
Did they say something?
We'll take this one. It's a bit long, but
Okay. That one's yours, man.
We just upgraded to inventory 8 in square brackets. All right. There's a variable in there.
inventory insert version.
Today, well, welcome. And the inventory is able to detect multiple values in reference to BitLocker drive encryption, but I can't find a way to create a dynamic collection of machines that are currently encrypted via BitLocker. You know, I just had to have refresh me on this one. I found out how to include the columns BitLocker protection, yada yada, but I can't get a group based on those variables. When you say group, I'm assuming you mean collection. Let's say you want to grab, create a collection just of the BitLocker information. New dynamic collection. We'll call this BitLocker enabled. And so you have your computer, but the BitLocker information is stored in logical disk.
2 more. There you go.
There we go. And it's all going to be here. So this is how, if you build a report, this is how you can look at all that information. I think it's BitLocker protection is enabled, so it's a Boolean, it's true or false. So if I say OK to this, those are the machines that have BitLocker.
Yep.
All right, and I can open up like twist 01, go down to logical disks, or disks, where are they? Disk drives. BitLocker protection. And you can always, remember, if you want to modify this, just go ahead and zoom in on that, JJ.
You'll be able to click up in that upper left corner.
This little guy right there. Click that, and these are the hidden columns. If you want to add those, any of those or all of those, you can add them over to the visible columns, and then obviously that extends that. So I've got a report. I'm going to import a report real quick. Miscellaneous reports. We'll do BitLocker. So I'm going to hit Control-I, and I think I just threw this out here. I don't know what I'm doing. I suck.
Nice.
Right. Reports. BitLocker. So this is, why am I doing a report for BitLocker? This is so that you can, you can't really easily do this generally in a collection, but you can run this, and in my define report, notice the columns I've got. I just show, let's grab every BitLocker
bit of information.
So I can see how it's reported. And then I can run that, and you can see that how it's reported. Now there was a bug that was already discovered. So the next point release of inventory is going to actually change this slightly. Windows 10 release 15.11. They've included a new method of encryption that we were showing as unknown. Now we'll show that. If you use that, we'll show that properly in the next point release of inventory. So if I wanted to show this, just those that are enabled, notice once again it's the BitLocker protection. Right there is the name. So I'm just going to change. I'm going to create a filter to say only show me BitLocker protection is true, and then that will show me those.
There you go.
Right there. Sound good? Now, look, here's a little bonus question. So I don't have to make these so wide because the name, how do I change that? How can I change what's shown in these columns? When you go back to your define report under columns, there's the title. So we by default, when we choose this, we always add the name of the table that is that's included. But if you just want to show this as you know, just remove some of those, you can do that in the title, and it will shorten that appropriately. All right.
You guys want to do another BitLocker question?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do another BitLocker question. I'm thrilled to see the BitLocker support. Since we use it extensively, how can I build collections on it so I can see who is configured and who doesn't?
And who doesn't? Yeah. Well, so we just showed you, in this case, the report, define report, showing everything from BitLocker, but in the filters, notice we just said logical disk BitLocker protection is true. Yep. That's how you can show that.
There you go.
You can always create a collection from this report if you want. We've already created a collection, but I'll just show them that. Because when you create a collection from a report, basically it just grabs the filters. You know, these columns really don't have much
to do with
collections. Yeah, but let's say BitLocker, we'll call this one BitLocker enabled. Boom. And then that's going to throw that. When you do that, it throws it in your
Right there at the bottom.
No, there it is. Looks like I had two of them because I already created one. BitLocker enabled. Now I'm going to change this one to say disabled. Notice the filter. I'm just going to change it to false. So these are the machines
Probably want to
that
change
don't
the
have
title on that too.
You are so pedantic.
Well, you know. Wow, we got a lot of
Good
these
catch, Lex.
enabled.
Yep,
There
disabled.
you go.
So that's how you can do it. It's called BitLocker protection.
Yep.
And it's true or false. So it's true. And then of course, if you want to find out who's got it protected, but based off of what algorithm, take a peek at those. Take a peek at all those different columns, and you'll be able to find out, who has like AES 128 or 256 encryption, et cetera, and how, it also shows you the percentage of the volume that has been protected.
Yep.
So, well done. And yeah, once again, guys, that was based off of requests from you saying please track this. We did show you some ways to get this information from a registry scanner in previous versions, but now it's just natively there. So if you do have those registry scanners, you can go ahead and probably remove those because this information is grabbed. It's grabbed in the disks scanner. Mm-hmm. That's important to remember. So if you're scanning with application scan profile, you're not going to get the updated BitLocker information, unless you were to say applications. If you wanted to add disks, the disk scanner there, all right, then you would grab that.
Cool. Any other questions?
Yep.
Yep. Is there a way to store BitLocker keys in Inventory 8? Custom fields?
Yeah, but those are.
I want to see how you work around this.
Yeah,
one,
the answer is yeah. You could use custom fields for that. Generally, yeah, when you do BitLocker, you save that key information. And I like to place that in a protected area on a file system, on a file server somewhere, so that if Joe's laptop, if I need that recovery key, I know where to go to get that. Can you throw it in here? Yeah. You could create a custom field, a text field.
Yeah.
Most likely to do that. I haven't done it yet, but that's probably what you could do.
How big is our text field? How much data?
Text, you can throw a lot of information in there.
Okay.
In fact,
A lot.
Yeah. One of the reasons we created that was for people to create notes.
Oh, okay.
Like, hey, on this date I did this or something like that. Cool. So, but it's nothing that we grab. That's not something that's part of the scanner, Nathan. Sorry. And it's something honestly you wouldn't really want as a scanner because that's something you don't necessarily want that information
easily accessed.
Easily. That's why I throw it on a protected area, a very, very locked down area of the file system, on a file server. So
that way you put it under the directory, file share, everyone, fun stuff. BitLocker keys, is that on that? Keep it secure.
Perhaps. We do have another feature I just want to call out. This is based off other requests. Mm-hmm. If you have auto reports enabled, we don't have one enabled here, but if you have auto reports, you know who you are. Mm-hmm. These are reports that you can run automatically on a schedule and have them either emailed to a manager, to yourself, or whoever, or thrown out to a file system. I want to run a Java compliance report every Friday night. Well, based off of your feedback, now you can actually, if you have auto reports created, you can right-click on that report and say Run Now. Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to wait for the next schedule iteration, next schedule trigger. You can just run it now. Right. So that's another feature that's out there. Any other questions? Oh, you know what? While we're here, there's a 0-day exploit that was patched by Java. Mm-hmm. If you go out to, I'm sorry, Java. I said Java. Flash by Adobe.
It was Flash, yeah.
Sorry, Java. We know you guys never have 0-day exploits. Sorry to
our mistake.
My bad.
Sorry.
We're sorry.
Anyway, if you go out to your package library, you'll see that they were just added. Jason gave me a call this morning. Mm-hmm. Saying, "Hey man, what's the status of that?" I'm like, "Gonna be in there." I was waiting for it last night because I saw that Google Chrome has the embedded PP API Flash, and they had updated it, so I've been waiting for it. They released it this morning, and Jason wanted to make sure that we were up on that.
Hey, Jason, I thought we'd skip it this time.
Nah. Nah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till Tuesday. Now this brings up a good point because Tuesdays a new Flash is expected. So I'm not sure if the new Flash is gonna come out on Tuesday. It probably will. I want to call this out. I'm gonna go to the package library. Flash. Notice like Flash All IE is still at 197. Windows 10 is 182. We're waiting for the Windows 8 and Windows 10 before we update these. I might just do the Flash All IE if I don't see the Windows 10 come up. But you can see that 213 is out there. Let's see. That's an update. So let me just go here. There we go. 213 for Flash for IE. That's Flash XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7. And then the plugin, which is for Firefox, and then, of course, for Opera for the 17 people that use Opera. All right?
I think it went to 18.
Right on. Do we have any questions, you guys?
Yeah, we'll take another one.
Can devices be added by adding IP range to scan?
Let's go over here. So, IP range, that is not to see. There's importing and then there's a scan. You don't scan necessarily by saying look for this IP range unless you want to create a collection that looks at IP ranges, and that will only go off of version 4 for that. 1 second here. So we do have. We're planning on the ability to add via a range. Okay, that's something that's forthcoming. That's going to be. That means you're going to be able to say when you add a computer. Once again, don't confuse adding a computer with scanning. When you add a computer, you want to be able to say, look for all these devices in this subnet, right, or between 10.0.0.1 and 10.0.0.254.
Yep.
And we'll be able to add those computers based off of a discovery. We call it a network discovery. But please don't confuse that with scan. If you only want to scan, or you want to create a collection that only contains certain IP addresses, you can do that. I'll show you real quick.
Let's do it.
We'll just call it IP range. All right. And basically, if you look at computer IP address, all right, and then you're going to do something like version between. And this is where this is kind of tell me if there's 10.0.0.1, we'll do 2, and then value 2, 10.0.0.128.
There you go.
All right. Those are the 51 computers that have
IPs
that
within
range.
that
So
range, yeah.
you're using the IP address, and then you're using the version comparisons, like version between, and that's a great way of doing it. You could also use, version above, greater than, but then it's going to go anything higher than 10.0.0.2. It would include 10.0.1, 10.0.2. So that's why you might want to use the version between. So the reason the hesitation, I was like, he's mentioning scan and adding computers in the same sentence. I want to make sure there's the network discovery that's forthcoming in another version, actually the next version, not the next point release, next major version. And if I'm wrong, have Chris let me know. But the next version, and then there's the scanning. And if you want to scan based off of, like I said, you create an IP range, you can do that. And then just say, I want to scan, select this collection, scan collection, and then you could just scan those. And if you look at all computers now, it's only those computers that are in that range that are being scanned.
Yep.
So, do you have another question?
We'll do it quickly. And then we'll wrap up.
Have you ever considered scanning event logs using PDQ Inventory?
Yes. Well, we did that in a previous product very early on. A predecessor to PDQ Inventory was called AA Console. And AA Console, it was where we combined both kind of deployment and inventory. And actually, I think there was a question somebody had asked earlier this week of, why don't you guys have inventory and deploy in one application? Well, we tried that. And the fact of the matter is, we have a lot of customers that just use PDQ for deploy. They don't have the inventory product. They've got another product that they're using.
Happy with.
Yeah, and we broke that up based off of our first application. In that application, very early versions, we did scan event log information, and it really became a bear. so much information in there, and the database was getting so unruly, we finally stopped doing it.
Very
So if you do want, you know, if I'm looking at Abraham here, Raymax, hey. So if I want to look at the event log on Raymax, I can just go to Tools, and we actually have Event Viewer. It's a built-in tool, and that will open up the MMC, snap in, and go to Abraham, and then I can look at those. I can look at, you know, the event log there. But no, it's not tracked in inventory. We tried it. It was so much data, and it's volatile. People clear it all the time, and we could tell very early on that
beyond the scope of
well, it was stuff. People weren't getting the benefit from it compared to the liability of trying to maintain all that data. So
true.
That's why, Raymax. All right. Well, you want to pick some winners?
Yeah, let's pick some winners. I like the IP scan question. That was a good one.
Yeah, I do like being able to show people, hey, here's a collection, how you can do that. So let's throw that one down.
Yeah. So that was it's Stephen.
And then which one did you like?
I'm sorry, I don't recall the name. The fellow
okay.
was asking about BitLocker.
Oh, okay.
Which question?
The
There were
first
three
one.
of them.
First
The first
BitLocker.
one was that
Yeah.
Matt? Yeah, it was the long one, like the 2-paragraph one, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's Matt.
That's
All right,
the one.
congrats, Stephen and Matt.
All right, guys.
Hey, guys, thanks for joining in.
Hey, I want to know who won our old close.
Alf.
Rock on, Alf.
All right, buddy.
Hey guys, thanks for using it. If you have any questions, by all means, hit up our support forums, and keep an eye out. We're going to be coming out with a new PDQ deploy very, very soon, and of course, as I mentioned, the IP discovery in the next major version of inventory. So rock on.
Awesome. See you guys.
Rest in peace, Merle Haggard.
Merle's dead? When did
Yesterday, dude.
No kidding.
Yeah, on his birthday.
On his
right.
birthday? Wow.
See everyone later.
All right, Stephen and Matt, if you'll email me at webcast@adminarsenal.com so I can get your PDQ swag. And Alf, congratulations, you've won Lex's old t-shirt. So we will send you a email and we'll get that sent out to you. Thanks.